Good morning, everyone. It is Easter Monday and we are about 24 hours away from the photos being taken for the online listing of this house. So we are in crunch time, and that is why I am talking to you while I'm getting ready again, just because I am incredibly time poor. Obviously, I will be back at work tomorrow, so that leaves me no time to, do any last minute things. So we're trying to get everything done today, so that pretty much the photographer can just walk into the house and take the photos and be gone. I really don't want to be in a position where I'm scrambling around and trying to fix spaces when they're here. So we are madly trying to get ready. I have done quite a bit of work and I'm in a good position for today. So I thought that while I'm doing my makeup, I would just kind of update you on the weekend that was, and also just tell you, I guess, a few other life updates while we are here. So on Friday morning, so Good Friday, Bella went back to her dad's to start his week with her. And then shortly after, Ben and Dad came over and they fixed the shelving under the stairs for me. So it looks very neat in there currently, which is fantastic. So I'll show you that in a little bit. So it didn't take them long. It took them a couple of hours on Friday, and and it looks really good. So that was kind of Friday morning. The cleaners got back to me and they booked themselves in. So that was also Friday morning. So it was a bit manic around here. So I was glad that Bella kind of went back to her dad's early that morning, just because it was just one less body in this house. So the cleaners came, they did their thing. They did a really good job. So I'm going to be keeping them on board. And I also spoke to Ben, because obviously he was here when they were here. And we might have them kind of move when we move, and continue to work for us when we're in our new place as well, because they did a really, really good job. So I was very impressed with the house after they left. So so that was Friday morning. Ben kind of hung around. We kind of hung out for a little bit after the shelves were finished, and then we both kind of went our separate ways and did our gym thing. And then Friday evening we went to Mum and Dad's for Good Friday dinner. So with my sister and her husband as well. So usually we do kind of like a hot and cold seafood platter. So we do that generally on Christmas and also for Good Friday. But this year I wanted us to do just like Asian seafood dishes, just because I think I was having a bit of a craving. And so that's what we did. We had a salmon dish, we had some calamari, and we had prawns and stir-fried vegetables, and it was very delicious. And then my sister brought a Biscoff cheesecake from, I think it's Space Kitchen, and that was good. We've had a few cakes from there. We had, for my birthday, she also got a Black Forest cake from there, because Black Forest cakes are my absolute favorite cakes in the world. So we've had a few from there. They are incredibly decadent. So there was a lot of cake left over after Friday. So, but yeah, it was really nice. It was obviously just the grown-ups. As I said, Bella went to her dad's. So, it's funny how it kind of changes the conversation and makes you a little bit more candid when you don't have to, you don't have to make it so PG. So, so that was Friday, and then I stayed over at Ben's, and We had a bit of a lie-in on Saturday morning, and had a bit of a lie-in on Saturday morning, and then we got up, had some brunch. Ben made us some eggs, and then I was crazy enough to go to the city on Saturday to do some Easter shopping. And like I've never hated my choices so much. It was so busy, and you know when you have those days where you're just not in the mood to be around people. That was me on that day. Like I hadn't had normally I like to go in, get a takeaway coffee and kind of walk around and sip and browse and do all of that kind of thing. I couldn't even bring myself to like line up in the cafe lines, because there's one cafe that I kind of go to there for my coffee, but it's always so busy and I just didn't want to be around people. So I didn't even get myself a coffee. Like that's how much I did not want to people. But anyway, so I got all of that done. I also picked up a pair of sneakers for Ben, and then in the process I decided I wanted the same pair of sneakers. So they're just the Adidas Samba ones, the colorway that, you know, the standard colorway with the gray suede and the black stripes. I love these sneakers, and to be honest, I'd been holding off for so long because obviously they're so hot on Instagram at the moment. So I was trying not to be influenced, but then when Ben had asked me to get them for him, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get some too. And I'm also just such a sucker of like couple dressing. So that was kind of the reason. But I'm not actually going to keep mine because I felt as though they made my legs look really short and stumpy. So I was in a denim miniskirt on Saturday, and when I brought the sneakers home, because in the store I just tried them on for size, and then when I got home I wanted to have a little bit more of like a walk around in them and all that kind of thing. But so I put them on downstairs in the lounge room, walked up to my room to like look at the full length mirror, and in that time it had started to rub on the back of my ankle, which was obviously like something like if I liked the sneakers I would have just put up with, if I'm honest. I would have just put a band-aid on and, you know, gone about my business. But because they make my legs look so short and stumpy, and I can't explain why, I think it actually might be like the tongue and maybe the way that like the cut of the shoe, I don't know. But so mine are going back. Ben, he wore his yesterday and they look great, and I'm a little bit sad that we don't have matching, but I'm trying to be responsible here, and yeah, so mine are going back. And because I think if I hadn't, no, I had bought I don't know how to pronounce this brand. Is it Veja? Veja, anyway. It, like I'd had the all white version of one of their sneakers, and the way that they are, like it's slimming on the leg. I don't know how to explain it, but it is. And the Sambas were just not the same way. So that's why they're kind of going back, because I had that to compare to. But anyway, so that was Saturday kind of lunchtime. Then I came home. I had intended on gymming Saturday, but I ran out of time because I picked Bella up from her dad's at 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon so that she could have Saturday night with us and Easter morning, so Sunday morning. Usually when, you know, she gets picked up by one parent, she stays there for the entire week. But as it is the holidays, we kind of chop and change so that we both get to spend time with her. And she got she got Christmas morning with her dad, and so I wanted her for Easter morning, just because, you know, it makes that time just so much more special when you have a kid to share it with. So I picked her up at 4 o'clock on Saturday and brought her home, and then Ben came over that evening. We got some Chinese takeaway and we watched a movie. So we watched Ron's Gone Wrong on Disney, and it is such a good movie. It's a kids movie, but I really, really enjoyed it. And Bella actually, she enjoyed, like we all enjoyed it. Bella, however, because Ben had picked the movie, usually she's a very easygoing kid, but there are moments where it's just very clear that she is an only child and an only grandchild and sort of like the only niece of my side of the family as well. So she has her moments sometimes, and Saturday night was one of those moments. So for a little while she was a little bit stroppy that, you know, Ben picked the movie without her say so. But she quickly got over that because she became really into the movie. And, you know, there are moments where there's moments of craziness in kids' movies. And she was yelling out of the TV and, you know, getting really into it. So it is a really good movie. So I recommend that one. And then after the movie, went to bed, obviously, to wait for the Easter Bunny because you don't want him to miss your house. And Ben and I stayed up and we started watching the latest Indiana Jones. We didn't really get that far into it before we both got tired and went to bed ourselves. So that was Saturday. And then Sunday morning we woke up. Ben was watching Manchester United play because they had a match that started at 7 o'clock our time. So he watched that on the iPad. I watched a little bit of it too, if I'm honest. Bella went on her iPad and like did the Switch thing as well. Obviously after she had seen what the Easter Bunny had delivered her and all that kind of thing. And I kind of potted around the house, made myself a coffee, and then started getting ready for breakfast at my parents' house. So that's what we did yesterday morning. We had breakfast there. My parents had two couples that are their friends there for breakfast as well. Although by the time we got there, which was about 9 o'clock, they literally stayed for about 10 minutes. I think just to like not be rude to us. And then had to leave. So one of the couples, they'd just become grandparents, and then the other couple, I don't really know what they had to do, but they left within 10 minutes and that was fine. So it ended up just being my family again for the most of it. And so we had breakfast. Dad did bacon and eggs, and we had croissants. And then what else? Oh, and then we had an Easter egg hunt for Bella. So she roped her uncle into being part of the Easter egg hunt as well. Just, I think, you know, to make it a little bit more fun. And anyway, so that's what we did. I did get some footage from yesterday, and I'll insert that here, but I literally got maybe like 30 seconds of footage because I was too busy living life, and also I don't know if my family really wanted to be on the vlog, if I'm honest. So that's why there's not that much footage, but I'll play that now. You got it? She just flips it back over. And welcome back. And then yesterday I took Bella back to her dad's. Ben went back to his, and I went to the gym, and I then started doing the house stuff again because that is just my life at the moment, and I can't wait for this part to kind of be done. But I tidied up, so everything that I pulled out from under the stairs, I kind of sorted throughout all the stuff that I don't need to keep anymore, and then put things neatly back onto the new shelving under the stairs. And then I just kind of chilled out and relaxed, and I had actually a very early dinner. I had dinner from like the second I got home from the gym. So I helped myself to some leftover Chinese, which was a little bit naughty of me because you really shouldn't eat that much takeout Chinese. I should have just tossed it in the bin, but I was so lazy. I did not want to cook anything last night. So I literally had dinner at about 5 o'clock when I got home from the gym. And I also had it with a small glass of wine, which is, you know, probably not what they recommend post-workout, but anyway. And then I topped it off with a little bit of brownie that was left over from when Bella made it last weekend. So, you know, very, it was a good post-gym feed, that is for sure. But then I got stuck into kind of going around the house and getting it ready for the photos and decluttering again. So today I will be taking more stuff to the storage unit, and then I've just got to get a couple of bunches of flowers for my room and for Bella's room, and just make sure that, you know, sorry, my sister's messaging me, and just make sure that the house is ready basically for the photographer to come in tomorrow and just take the photos, because I just don't want to leave anything for me to have to do tomorrow morning when I'm working. So I'll be working from home tomorrow, but I'm just, as I said in my last vlog, I'm so stressed at the moment. Like, I am so done with this step of the process. It's just been never ending. And anyway, so that is that. Yeah, so that is pretty much what has been going on. But there were a couple of other things that I just wanted to, I guess, take this time to kind of share with you as well. So, because I made a couple of like changes in my routine and that this week. The first one being, I am switching back to decaf coffee. So a few years ago, I had actually made the transition to be off caffeine. And it was mainly because I felt as though my adrenal glands were kind of being fatigued. It was at the stage where I was just constantly exhausted, and it didn't matter how much coffee I drank. In fact, the more that I drank, the more tired I became throughout the day. So I just decided that I'm just not going to have that anymore, and went off it. And to be honest, I went through the worst withdrawals that I've experienced. I won't say ever, but that I've ever experienced, where I was nauseous, headachy, and all of that, but I did pull through. And so anyway, I was off caffeine for quite a while, but then it slowly just kind of became part of the routine again. And the past month, where I've, you know, started this new job, and obviously a lot of office interactions and office life is around getting a coffee. And so I found myself having multiple coffees a day again, which I never do. I will only ever have like one caffeinated coffee, but lately it's been 2 or 3, depending on what the day brings. And that's just coffee itself. That's not including, I do like to have, you know, black tea as well. And I do also like to drink jasmine tea in the day, particularly because the office, I'm always cold in the office, and the jasmine tea is just nice and warming. So yeah, have been existing on quite a lot of caffeine lately. So, and then what I've also found is, so last month, and this is going to be a lot of information, personal information. But so last month I didn't have any PMS symptoms, to the point where when I got my period, I was a little bit surprised because I hadn't, like I said, I didn't have any symptoms to let me know that I would be getting my period that month. So, speak of the devil, Ben's just messaged me, but, so yeah, like, mind you, we were both relieved when my period did come, but I kind of was gearing up to have to tell him that I might be pregnant. But then my period came and obviously I wasn't pregnant. So like I said, we were very happy about that. But this month, in the last week or so, I have been getting PMS symptoms, and it is quite early in the cycle. Like usually if I do experience PMS symptoms, it is sort of in that week lead up. However, I'm only about halfway through the cycle this month and I've already gotten like the water retention. I have other symptoms that I'm not going to share with you, but yeah, so I've already started experiencing those early on in the month. And the only thing that has changed in my routine that could impact kind of what's been going on there is the increased caffeine. And so I did do a little bit of research, because even though my intuition's telling me that it is the caffeine, I obviously like to make sure that I'm not just creating scenarios in my head. And I did do a bit of research, and there have been studies that have said that increased or high caffeine levels in a woman's diet, particularly a woman who is of Asian background. So if you don't know, my mum's Vietnamese, so I'm half Vietnamese, but in high caffeine intake, which is, their definition of high is the equivalent of 2 coffees in a single day, so 200 milligrams or whatever it is of caffeine. That's what they are, for the research purposes, have considered high caffeine intake. So that, for women of Asian background, actually can increase their estrogen quite a lot, to the point where it can cause a number of side effects, including worsening of PMS symptoms. So that has kind of made me reevaluate my caffeine habit. And this study as well, I should say, when it was talking about caffeine, it wasn't just from coffee, it was also from green tea, from black tea, from caffeinated soft drinks and all of that kind of thing. So it was wide ranging. So unfortunately for me, that means that I do have to cut back on my caffeine. So I did have a caffeinated coffee yesterday because my brother-in-law made it for me nicely, kindly, out of the goodness of his heart, for Easter breakfast. But that's the only caffeinated coffee I've had in, I'm about to sneeze, in about a week. I still am allowing myself to have a tea kind of a day, because tea has lower levels of caffeine as well. So I do love, a black tea with some milk and some sugar, because that just makes my soul happy. So I will continue to allow myself that, but it's only when I feel like it. It's not a habit, I guess, that I have. It's just when I want a bit of comfort, and I'm seeking comfort in a cup of tea. So that is one of the life updates, but it's very interesting. So they said the results from this study were that, ouch, I just got my eye. The results from this study said that women of like Caucasian background, the increased caffeine, so the 200 milligrams plus a day, actually decreases the amount of estrogen in their system, but women of like African descent, they had no change at all. So it's crazy how your background can alter, you know, your body's hormone levels with something so simple as, you know, a coffee. So very interesting. So if you're interested in that, yeah, definitely Google it, because it is life-changing. I obviously didn't Google what lower levels of estrogen does to your body, because it obviously, I mean, it doesn't apply to me. So to be perfectly frank, so I didn't go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, it just was very interesting to learn that caffeine, yeah, impacts your body so much. So that being said, I am now decaf, but I will say as well, what's interesting to me is, like, last time when I went off caffeine, I had really strong withdrawals, as I said. I felt like I was going to throw up. There were times when I felt dizzy. I was, you know, headachy and all of that kind of thing. But this time around, my body's just like, okay, we're back here again. I will say that, like, I had, particularly the first couple of days in the afternoon, I was very tired and my eyes were like puffy because I was so tired. But yeah, otherwise it's been pretty smooth sailing, which is nice. And what else did I want to update you on? Oh, so I will kind of introduce this a little bit. I've only got 10% battery. I should hurry up and finish talking and also finish getting ready. But I've noticed I've got a few new subscribers, so thank you very much. So that's why I'm kind of giving a little bit more of a backstory with some of these updates, because I know some of you are new here, but welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. I am so appreciative of you and everyone who just comes here and watches my videos and likes my stuff and all of that kind of thing. It's really, really nice, and makes me feel all lovely to know that people are actually viewing what I'm putting out there. But for those of you who are new here, I have been giving kind of skin updates in most of my vlogs, and that's because I suffered from a breakout sort of overnight in August last year. You can view that vlog. I think I literally titled it like my overnight breakout or something. But ever since then, my skin hasn't quite recovered, and it's gone through different stages, and I'm experiencing like different problems with each of these stages. So how it was in the beginning is not how it is now. But like I said, it's not back to how it was. So I have been, you know, trying to fix what's happened and get my skin back to being healthy again. And that does, as each of these stages kind of happens, it does mean that I have to kind of change my skin routine to fix that and kind of counteract what I'm experiencing. So where we're at the moment with my skin is, it's actually quite clear at the moment. I do have makeup on, obviously, you saw me put it on, but what my biggest concern is at the moment is just the pigmentation that I'm left with following my recent I wouldn't even call it a breakout. So the past couple of weeks, and you would have seen it, I definitely noticed it myself in some of my footage in my last vlog, where you could see the congestion actually in the bathroom when the light was like shining down on it. So now you can kind of see like it's actually relatively flat, and that's because I've introduced a new product into my routine, and I've used it twice. Like I've bought it 2 days ago, so when I went shopping in the city for the Easter stuff, and I have incorporated it into my routine. So I started following this dermatologist from New York on Instagram. Her name is Dr. Idris, I believe. I can't remember, her first name starts with an SH, I can't remember it, but anyway, she's really cool. So I kind of went down a rabbit hole and like was looking at her content and, you know, seeing what kind of advice I guess that she was giving and whether it was something that I wanted to kind of like follow, because I am quite selective with accounts like that on, you know, what I kind of let into my mind and what kind of messages are put in there. And her stuff kind of seemed to make sense, and she seems to, you know, be a real dermatologist instead of, you know, the influencers that kind of plug their products and whatever. Oh my gosh, I'm at 6%. And whatever, you know, advertisements they're being paid for. So yeah, one of her reels, she kind of gives a breakdown of what she thinks, you know, what active ingredients you should kind of include in your routine and how many times a week. And one of them was glycolic acid. And she doesn't name, what I liked about it as well is she doesn't name a brand or a product in particular. She's like, this is just the ingredients that you should incorporate in your routine, which again, like I said, I appreciate. So I started Googling, you know, like there was benzoyl peroxide, retinol, glycolic acid, and vitamin C is what she had suggested that you should have in your routine, kind of as a bare minimum, I suppose. And I've been using salicylic acid since the breakout pretty much, because when you Google how you fix breakouts, they suggest obviously salicylic acid because it is just one of those ingredients. Oh my gosh, my hair is so flat. It's so dirty today. So I'm trying to like pin it back, but anyway, so yes, glycolic acid. So I started Googling, because she obviously doesn't suggest a particular brand or product. I started Googling glycolic acid products, and the one that had like the most favorable reviews on like Sephora and all of that kind of thing was the Ordinary glycolic acid 7% toning solution. And it was 4 stars and it had over 9,000 reviews, and I'm familiar with the brand and all of that kind of thing. So I thought, well, while I'm in the city, I'll go into Sephora and I'll buy a bottle. And so I put it on Saturday night, and I put it on last night. I really shouldn't have put it on last night. I meant to kind of alternate nights according to kind of her advice. But on Saturday night, I noticed results instantly, and so I was a little bit naughty, and I wanted to kind of further those results by putting it on again last night. But I won't be putting it on tonight. I'll give myself a break because it is obviously an acid, and you don't need to have it on your skin every night. So yeah, that's one other update that I wanted to give you. It's obviously, like I said, I've used it twice, but I am actually obsessed. It apparently is a cult product on TikTok. I don't have TikTok, so I can't say that I was influenced there, but as I said, it had really good reviews on Sephora, so I wanted to give it a go. Since then, however, I have kind of plugged it into YouTube to see if there were any reviews from people that had actually used it and all of that kind of thing. And honestly, there are no bad reviews of this product, other than people kind of going and admitting that they went overboard like I did and used it like every night. But I have here, I don't know if the camera picks it up, but I have some pigmentation on my cheek. You would have seen it definitely in my last vlog, particularly when I'm driving to my storage unit. And what had happened since that footage is I had 2 more spots kind of just of congested pores come up on my cheek, and in decongesting, which is so gross, but decongesting those pores, I was left with circles of pigmentation on my cheek. So I had 3 circles from 3 different kind of congested pores, I guess. But what had happened was the pigmentation was so big that they'd kind of like blended into one big pigmentation mark. And on Saturday night when I washed my face and put this product on, literally, and I'm not affiliated, I've got 2%, so I've got to be quick. I'm not affiliated with this brand. I have nothing to do with this brand, but within 10 minutes of after putting it on my face, that pigmentation started to fade, and now I have individual, like I still have pigmentation, but they're individual now. And I, again, like I said, used it last night when I shouldn't have, but I did. And that pigmentation has further reduced. So those are the two updates that life updates that I kind of wanted to give you in this introduction. Anyway, now that I'm ready, and it has been a while, so thank you. If you've stuck with me for this long and you haven't quit out of this vlog, thank you very much. But now I'm going to have to put this on charge. We're at 1%, so I'm talking very quickly, and I'm going to start loading the car up so I can take things to storage. So I just went to get the kettle out from under the stairs, and I realized that I promised you that I would show you the shelves. So here we go. So they've put in these shelves. So I've always kind of had shelves. Well, not always. I did put shelves in here a few years ago, but they did kind of stick out, and I wanted them to be pushed back just so it was a little bit more seamless in here. And I've just put a few kitchen bits and bobs here. Our shoes are currently over there, but and then put our little snacks and that in these baskets as well, just so that they're not as visible. Unfortunately, because of the staircase, as you can see, this one has to stick out, but that's all right. I would rather that than all of our snacks and that on view, but it's just very nice and neat in there. And so the storage, or the lack of storage, when I first moved in has always been a huge problem for me, so I definitely wanted to incorporate more just so it's a little bit more friendly. And I started, so we had this part of the door frame actually almost completely covered, so it came from here all the way up to here with Bella's, you know, height markings, and we've still got some. I've got to paint over it. Thankfully, some of it was done in pencil, but I had Dad find me a piece of wood that I could transfer the information over to. So that is now in storage, and that's something that I just want to continue doing. I just think it's a really nice thing to kind of continue, you know, no matter where we're going, and I like that we've now done it in a portable way. But anyway, I'm gonna continue making my matcha. I'm hushing the dog on the tin. I'm running up stones on the edge of the bend. Rally the troops for another fight. I sing this softly to myself. I sing this softly to myself. I'm buried beneath the sand. There's no way to speak or reach out my hand. Watching the paper slowly unfold, bracing for news that I can't bear to hold. While I'm singing this song to myself, I sing this softly to myself. Tore up my jeans on the fence. This iron road I cannot bend, but my walking is lighter when I walk with a friend. I sing this softly to myself. I sing this softly to myself.
I'm hushing the dog on the chain. I'm running up stones on the edge of the bank. Rally the troops for another refrain. I sing this softly to myself. I sing this softly to myself. I'm buried beneath the sand. There's no way to speak or reach out my hand. Watching the paper slowly unfold, bracing for news that I can't bear to hold. While I'm singing this song to myself, I sing this softly to myself.